Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Friday, happy Freaky Friday, and happy 4th of July to everybody out there. I hope your day, your week, and your holiday are off to a fantastic start. Got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. With a new day comes some new opportunities to go ahead and make some money. It is Freaky Friday, which of course means we usually have our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. We still have a Freaky Friday parlay, but a little variation is the 4th of July, big holiday, America's Independence Day, and I feel like we have to go bigger on a day like this. So for this week's edition of Freaky Friday, it's the last edition of Freaky Friday for a couple weeks. I mentioned this in an earlier video. I am going on vacation. I leave on Monday for Greece, going to visit family, going to take care of some business over there. So last Freaky Friday for at least the next, I think, 3 weeks. So we got to go off with a bang here. Fireworks, no pun intended, or pun intended actually. So we have a 7-leg parlay for this Freaky Friday. 7-leg parlay over plus 1,000 odds. The theme is hits. All we want are hits, hits, hits. We want fireworks on 4th of July. We want hits. So it's 7 player props. All of them are for players to get 1 hit. That's it. It's very simple. 7 one-hit player props plus 1,039, I think. And obviously that could fluctuate by the time we get to the end of this video. And since it's an extra special edition of Freaky Friday, I feel like we have to give you guys a little something here. So normally, we do a giveaway every single Friday. We'll do a giveaway here today, but with a little twist. All you guys have to do is comment America. Comment America down below in the comment section. And one lucky commenter is going to win a free $50 Amazon gift card, regardless if the parlay hits or not. It's that easy. It's that simple. Somebody's going to go home a winner in today's video. So all you have to do is comment America down below, and one lucky commenter will win a free $50 Amazon gift card. With that being said, guys, we got a lot of player props to get through in today's video. No more time to waste. Let's dive right into today's Freaky Friday 7-leg parlay. Jumping right into the outlier screen here, guys, I'm going to move pretty quickly through the numbers, mainly because two reasons. A, we have a lot of player props to get to, and B, it's 4th of July. I want to go celebrate and have fun today, so we do want to get moving here with a lot of player props. I'm not going to spend as long or go as in depth as I normally will with these player prop because we'll be here for over half an hour, and I don't think anybody wants that here on the 4th of July. You guys want to go get your barbecues, you want some glizzies, you want some fireworks. Let's get you guys out of here and get that parlay. All right, so first leg of our 7-leg parlay, we have Reds, Phillies, 1:05 p.m. first pitch. We have Elly De La Cruz of the Reds over half a hit. Now, we are using DraftKings for this parlay, so I don't have to keep reiterating that. A lot of these legs are going to be available on a couple of different sports books. We'll show you guys at the end of the video what it looks like if you're betting on FanDuel or BetMGM or whatever, but I am primarily looking at DraftKings for this parlay. So Elly De La Cruz over half a hit. He's cashed this in 80% of his last 10 games, averaging 1.4 hits per game over the last 10. We go ahead and stretch the data out, 75% hit rate over the last 20, averaging 1.35 hits per game over the last 20 games. And overall this year, a 70% hit rate on this over, averaging 1.06 hits per game this season. So really good numbers, really solid data across the board here for Elly De La Cruz. Again, these are all alternate lines. Every player is just to get 1 hit. So of course, especially when we're dealing with superstars like Elly De La Cruz, 1-hit player props, the data is going to be pretty solid here. Pretty sure most of these player props, the data is strong. And from a head-to-head perspective, 5 of his last 7 matchups with the Phillies, he's cashed the over. To be fair, though, all 7 matchups against Philly was coming from last season, so a little bit of outdated data. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. Elly De La Cruz has exceeded half a hit in 12 of his last 13 games on the road, averaging 1.5 hits per game on average over his last 13 road games. And jumping on over to the GuyBostonSports.com MLB dashboard, we're really looking at the last 30 games to get a more recent look at what De La Cruz's numbers are. And you see over the last month, he's been hitting very well off of left-handed pitchers. 344 batting average, 1.020 OPS. So having a lot of success versus left-handed pitchers over the last month. And looking at Jesus Luzardo versus left-handed hitters, a lot of success versus right-handed hitters. You see 290 batting average against. A couple of numbers not very good. The Phillies also have one of the worst bullpens in Major League Baseball. So even when Luzardo gets out, Elly De La Cruz still has a solid shot to cash the over. Being a switch hitter, you got to assume in this matchup with Jesus Luzardo, who bat righty. So for him to get one hit here, I think is a pretty solid bet. So it's the first leg of our 7-leg parlay. All right, guys, second leg of our 5-leg parlay. We got the Subway Series, Mets, Yankees in at Citi Field, I should say, because I guess they're both technically in New York. 3:10 p.m. first pitch. We got Juan Soto over half a hit. He's cashed this over in 80% of his last 10 games, averaging 1 hit per game over his last 10. Look at the last 20 game data, 65% hit rate, averaging 0.95 hits per game over the last 20 games. And the overall numbers for 2025, a 63% hit rate on this over, 55 out of 87 games he's cashed the over, averaging 0.92 hits per game this season. So like I said, pretty solid data across the board. Now the head-to-head data, not a lot to go off of here. He has played the Yankees 3 times already this year, his former team, of course. He had 1 hit in one of the 3 games, the other 2, nothing. But it's a small sample size. That was very early into his Mets tenure, kind of when he was struggling a little bit. He's definitely heated up a bit. You look at the last 10 games, again, 8 of his last 10, 65% of his last 20. So he's definitely getting a little more hot, a little more comfortable in a Mets jersey. I expect him to do better this time around against the Yankees. The insights provided by Outlier. Just kind of reiterating a lot of the same stuff. 7 of his last 8 games, he's cashed the over. It's an 88% hit rate, averaging 1.13 hits per game over his last 8 games. And again, referring to the MLB dashboard over on GuyBostonSports.com, Juan Soto over the last month versus right-handed pitchers, again, really good numbers here. 322 batting average, a 1.207 OPS. So he's really had a lot of success hitting off of right-handed pitchers over the last month. And looking at Marcus Stroman, the Yankees pitcher, not a lot of good numbers here in any category, but specifically versus left-handed hitters. 273 batting average allowed, obviously matching up with Juan Soto, who is a left-handed hitter. Not ideal for him. That being said, Marcus Stroman, Juan Soto has pitched no innings this year. Marcus Stroman has only pitched 14.1 innings this year, so kind of a small sample size. He hasn't pitched a ton this year, but when he has pitched this year for the Yankees, it has not been good. So taking what we have to go off of, I think Juan Soto's got a pretty good matchup. That's the second leg of our 7-leg parlay. All right, guys, our third leg of our 7-leg parlay, Pirates, Mariners, 4:10 p.m. first pitch. We got Cal Raleigh of the Seattle Mariners over half a hit. Cal Raleigh, yeah, I think that's how you say it. Name pronunciation, guys. Even on Independence Day, it sucks ass. My pronunciation sucks ass, not Independence Day, just to clarify so people don't clip that. Cal Raleigh over half a hit. Again, we don't need to look at that. We know we're doing DraftKings here. I know it's early, but I kind of want to crack open a beer. I don't know. Can I do that on YouTube? I don't want the video to get flagged, so I'm not going to do it, but I will crack a beer after this video because it's the 4th of July. If you guys want to, in your legal age, go ahead and give a little cheers, a little toast. I got my Gatorade here, so I'll do that. Little cheers, little toast. Happy 4th of July, guys. Hope you guys drink many beers safely. Drink beers, have some glizzies, and have fun. Something about the 4th of July makes me just want a day drink. It just comes with the holiday, I guess. But Cal Raleigh over half a hit. Again, 6 of his last 10 games. He's cashed the over, averaging 0.8 hits per game over the last 10. Last 20 games, 70% hit rate, averaging 1.05 hits per game over the last 20 games. And overall this year, a 72% hit rate, averaging 1 hit per game. So the recent data, last 10 game data, is fine if you do go ahead and stretch the numbers out, like the last 20 games, the overall 2025 data. It's pretty solid across the board. From a head-to-head perspective, very small sample size, just two matchups, against the Pirates since last year. Both of those meetings came last year, and he got 1 hit in one of the 2 games. But again, a year ago, not a lot to go off of there. We just really are focusing on this year's numbers. And again, it just two matchups a year ago doesn't really qualify as, I think, effective data here. And jumping over to the dashboard on Guy Boston Sports, you see Cal Raleigh. Over the last month, he's been destroying left-handed pitchers. 409 batting average, 1.525 OPS. So phenomenal numbers. He is a switch hitter as well. And looking at the matchup here with Bailey Falter, his one weakness here, left-handed hitters. 289 batting average allowed. A lot of the numbers in the red there. Obviously, Cal Raleigh being a switch hitter can bat lefty if required. And I would assume in this matchup, he's probably going to bat lefty. So really solid player prop here as the third leg of our 7-leg parlay. All right, guys, fourth leg of our 7-leg parlay. We have Rangers, Padres, 6:40 p.m. first pitch. We got Josh Smith of the Texas Rangers over half a hit. We're grabbing that for minus 215 over on DraftKings. Pretty good data here as well. 70% hit rate over the last 10 games, averaging 1.1 hits per game over the last 10 games. Go ahead and stretch that out to the last 20 games. 80% hit rate, averaging 1.3 hits per game over the last 20 games. Looking at the overall season data, a 65% hit rate on this over, averaging 1.04 hits per game this season. So phenomenal data here for Josh Smith. And from a head-to-head perspective, again, it's tough to go off of this. This is from last July. Actually, this is 2 4th of Julys in a row where the Rangers and Padres have met. Last year was in Texas. This year's in San Diego. All 3 matchups last year, Josh Smith did record a hit against the Padres. But again, it's a year ago. It's only 3 games. It's not a lot to go off of. So take that with a grain of salt. Now, this data point, however, you can absolutely take to the bank. Josh Smith, this is the insight, of course, provided by Outlier. Josh Smith has exceeded half a hit in 15 of his last 18 games. He's averaging 1.4 hits per game over the last 18, and that is, of course, an 83% hit rate over the last 18 games. So phenomenal data here for Josh Smith going into this matchup with the Padres. And again, jumping over the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, look at the last month, the last 30 days, Josh Smith versus right-handed pitchers, 342 batting average, 887 OPS. Phenomenal numbers here. And going over the left side of the screen here, Randy Vasquez, the Padres pitchers. You guys kind of get the story at this point, what I'm going for here. His weakness, definitely left-handed hitters, 268 batting average allowed. A lot of red in these data categories. So a really good matchup here for Josh Smith and a great opportunity. And these are the overall. I've been showing you guys the more recent stuff. The overall data is still relevant, of course, but obviously we're looking mainly at how they've been hitting over the last month. But phenomenal data across the board here and a really solid player prop for our 4th leg of our 5-leg parlay. All right, guys. Cruising right along here. We got 3 legs left in today's parlay. Our 5th leg in our Freaky Friday Independence Day parlay. We got Angels, Blue Jays, 7:07 p.m. first pitch. We got George Springer of the Toronto Blue Jays over half a hit. 80% hit rate over his last 10 games, averaging 1.8 hits per game over his last 10 games. He's on a really good streak right now for multi-hits games. Actually, 6 of his last 10 games, he has multi-hit games, including 3 in a row with a couple of 3-hit games in there. He's been on a phenomenal run right now with the Blue Jays. If you look at the last 20 games, it's still solid, 70% hit rate, averaging 1.3 hits per game over the last 20 games. Overall this year, a 59% hit rate on this over, averaging 0.95 hits per game this season. Now, this is the one worrying part here, is the head-to-head numbers are not great. Just 2 of his last 8 matchups with the Angels has he actually cashed the over, averaging just 0.38 hits per game against the Angels over their last 8 games. Now, he's played them 3 times this year. He did cash the over once with a multi-hit game back on May 6th, but in the 2 following matchups, he did not cash the over. So that's kind of the one negative data point here for George Springer. Not a good history against this Angels team, which is kind of surprising, honestly. That being said, kind of cleaning. No, I swear, guys, I haven't broken open any beers yet today. Cleansing the palate here with some good data. 10 of the last 12 games in general is cashed the over. It's, of course, an 83% hit rate, averaging 1.75 hits per game over the last 12 games. And again, you guys get the routine by now. Going over the dashboard over on Guy Boston Sports, George Springer over the last month, 381 batting average versus right-handed pitchers with a 1.151 OPS. So again, really solid numbers across the board here for George Springer, matching up with Kyle Hendricks, who versus right-handed hitters really having a rough time this year. 311 batting average allowed. This should be a very phenomenal matchup for George Springer. Again, he's having a lot of success against right-handed pitchers, and it's okay because when he comes out, the Angels have one of the 5 worst bullpens in Major League Baseball. So a solid player prop as the 5th leg of our 7-leg parlay. All right, guys, our 6th leg of our 7-leg parlay. I just want to say 5-leg parlay so bad because it's just muscle memory. We have Marlins, Brewers, 7:10 p.m. first pitch. Now this one, I'm going to be honest. This is the player prop I'm scared of the most, which is the funniest thing because the data has been phenomenal of late. Christian Yelich has been my white whale this year. For some reason, when I've been betting on him, it has not paid off. Now, to be fair, normally I'm betting him hits, runs, RBIs. Not too often betting just him to get 1 hit because the odds are not worth it, from a straight bet perspective at least. But again, hits, runs, RBIs, he's been on a phenomenal run. And the 2 times over the last 20 games, or 10 games, that he's failed to cash the over, the 2 times that I bet on him. So he's my white whale. I've yet to cash a Christian Yelich bet this year, but today on 4th of July, on America's birthday, we're going to go ahead and get one. Is it cheating because it's only a half-hit line? Possibly, but we're going to cash a Christian Yelich bet today. I can feel it. And to be honest, the data does support it. 9 of the last 10 games, he's cashed the over, averaging 1.1 hits per game over the last 10 games. Go ahead and stretch the data out to the last 20 games, 80% hit rate, averaging 1.3 hits per game over the last 20 games. Looking at the entire season data here, a 65% hit rate on the over for Christian Yelich, averaging 0.99 hits per game this year. So pretty solid data across the board. From a head-to-head perspective, just one of his last 3 matchups with the Marlins has he actually cashed the over. But again, to be fair, it's only 3 matchups, so a small sample size, and it was over a year ago, May of last year. So, I mean, not really a ton to go off of. We also have the insights provided by Outlier. Again, phenomenal numbers here. Christian Yelich has exceeded half a hit in 14 of his last 15 games. It's a 93% hit rate over his last 15 games, averaging 1.53 hits per game over that span. So, phenomenal numbers here for Yelich. Looking at the last month, Christian Yelich versus right-handed pitchers, again, phenomenal data. 345 batting average, 1.036 OPS, so really good numbers across the board here. And looking at the matchup with Sandy Alcantara, not very good. Versus left-handed hitters. A lot of red data there, 262 batting average overall. So it's a very good matchup here for Yelich as our 6th player prop in today's video. All right, guys, in our 7th and final leg of today's parlay, we have Orioles, Braves, 7:15 p.m. first pitch. We have Ronald Acuna Jr. of the Braves over half a hit. Again, data is solid. Although, actually, the further you stretch the numbers out here, the further you stretch the data out, the better it gets. 6 of his last 10 games, not bad. Averaging 0.7 hits per game over the last 10 games. Stretch the numbers out the entire season view, a 75% hit rate on the over, averaging 1.2 hits per game over the last 20 games. And looking at the entire season view, a 78% hit rate on the over. Now, to be fair, he's only played 37 games this year, so a smaller sample size in comparison to a lot of the other players we've shown in today's video. But in those 37 games, he's cashed the over in 29 out of 37, averaging 1.22 hits per game overall this year. We have no head-to-head data to go off of here. We do have the insights provided by Outlier, which again, really phenomenal. Ronald Acuna Jr. has exceeded half a hit in 12 of his last 15 games at home. All 15 of these home games do fall into this year's data, so none of it's last year's numbers. He's averaging 1.07 hits per game over the last 15 home games, 80% hit rate. Again, really solid numbers. And one more time today, going over the dashboard on Guy Boston Sports. By the way, guys, if you liked, and I know I've only been showing you guys really the hitting numbers for the player over the last 30 days and the pitching numbers. If you zoom out here, a lot of information, a lot of data, and we cover every single game here on the dashboard. It's available over on GuyBostonSports.com for a monthly fee. I think it's only $4.99 per month. I could be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure it's only $4.99 a month. Go ahead and check it out over on GuyBostonSports.com. Phenomenal tool, and it's really good to have this by your side, especially when it comes to betting player props. It's a very useful thing to have. But Ronald Acuna Jr., look at the right side of the screen here for last 30-day data. Ronald Acuna, 360 batting average versus right-handed pitchers over the last month with a 1.073 OPS. So like I said, really phenomenal data there. And looking at the left side of the screen here, Charlie Morton, the Orioles pitcher, struggling in both regards. I mean, left-handed hitters especially having a rough time, but even versus right-handed hitters, 294 batting average allowed this year. Not very good in a lot of those categories. Ronald Acuna is a right-handed hitter, but again, 294 batting average allowed against righties. If we go over here to the outlier screen, just kind of reiterate that. Yeah, 294, 352 BA, BIP, 577 ERA, not very good. And Acuna has been destroying right-handed pitchers this year. So a really solid matchup here as the 7th and final leg in today's parlay. All right, guys, those are all 7 legs in today's 4th of July parlay. Quick little run through. Josh Smith, and again, these are all the same player props, so these guys just need to get one hit. So Josh Smith, Elly De La Cruz, Ronald Acuna Jr., George Springer, Christian Yelich, Cal Raleigh, and Juan Soto, all to get one hit. I mean, or more. They can get as many hits as they want, as long as they get one. Now, the good thing about this is that you can get this on a number of different sports books for varying odds, and actually most of the legs are available. So, FanDuel, all 7 available, plus 1,014. DraftKings, all 7 available, plus 1,095. ESPN Bet, all 7 available, plus 1,106. Actually, I might switch over to ESPN Bet for this because that actually looks a little bit better. Caesars, 5 out of 7. BetMGM, 5 out of 7. Hard Rock Bet, 7 out of 7. All my Florida people, plus 1,018. So you can go ahead and tail with that. Sleeper, plus 776. Not as valuable, but still available. Prize Picks, Underdog, Fliff, ProfitX, Novik, all have at least 4 available. But again, the main ones, FanDuel, DraftKings, ESPN Bet, Hard Rock Bet, they all have all 7 legs. So I'm going to take ESPN Bet here, plus 1,106, just because the odds are slightly better over on ESPN Bet. Those are all 7 legs of our 4th of July parlay. And guys, if you check the link down below in the description, this page is right there. It'll say link for today's picks in the description, not the pinned comment. The pinned comment takes you to GuyBostonSports.com. In the description, it'll say link for today's picks. It'll take you right to this page. It'll show you all the legs, and all you have to do, it's very easy. It's very simple. For example, you want to do FanDuel, add the bet slip, continue. You know, if you're doing it on your computer, I'm in Connecticut. Give it a second here, adding your selections, and boom, it's all right there. And now you just go ahead and put how much you want. You can put 1,000, which would be 10 grand. You can put 100. So it's kind of up to you. But yeah, a lot of different options here. I mean, that's truly the easiest way to go ahead and tail. So go ahead and check that out. Link down below in the description. Guys, that is it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, please make sure to go ahead and hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. I will presumably be back tomorrow. We'll see how today goes. I'm mostly doing a lot of the partying tomorrow, although on the 4th of July, you gotta have a little bit of party going on. But yeah, so we will hopefully, I think, presumably be back tomorrow, as long as I'm not too hungover. Which, again, that's more of a Sunday problem, not so much a Saturday problem. But until then, guys, I hope you're all winners. Enjoy your 4th of July. Have a great holiday. Don't forget to comment America down below for a chance to win a $50 Amazon gift card. Until next time, hope you're all winners. Let's go ahead and make some big money. Happy birthday, America. Let's go.